Hey y'all, welcome to Two Old Crows Homestead. This is Shelly, and I am not on the homestead this morning. I am actually at the farmer's market, and my day has been just a hot mess, I ain't gonna lie. I was supposed to be leaving my house to get to my daughter's house by 7. I was supposed to leave my house at 6:30, and I woke up at 6:30. So big rush to get everything done. My daughter actually sits up at the farmer's market and does she sells handmade jewelry. So the reason I'm making this video is because we've had a little bit of an issue with this guy right here. So you see King. I don't know if you can hear, his mouth isn't as gaping as it was, but let me think. So for about a week and a half ago, he stopped being able to crow. He was having issues with that. And he would try to crow and nothing would come out. And to be honest, I didn't think anything about it at first, because this happened like back when he was smaller, and it was kind of like, you know, like when he was learning to be a rooster or whatever, when he was really young, and his voice would kind of crack, kind of like boys going through puberty or whatever. And it just didn't alarm me the way that it should have. Now I know better. But 2 days ago, he started wheezing, sounding like he was congested. And I started treating him. We've got some Vet RX to put on him and to put in his water, and treating him with apple cider vinegar. And but last night was really scary. Crystal went outside to put the chickens up, and King's comb and his whatever those things are that dangle below his chin, they were purple, and I knew that he was he couldn't get enough oxygen. So I set him, we got we have a big dog kennel, and I separated him out, and I put last night I put the Vet RX in his water, and some apple cider vinegar, and he actually drank most. When we went out there this morning, he had drank most of it, and his comb wasn't purple anymore, it was red, so that was a good thing. But this morning I loaded him up and took him to the vet. And so our vet is he's actually a family friend of ours, and but he's a large animal vet, and there's a vet there that is really knowledgeable about chickens. However, her family has a chicken farm here in Kentucky, so she is not allowed to there he is. She is not allowed to like even put her hands on someone else's chickens, because she deals with that all the time. And I mean, we're talking like lots of chickens. Our friend came in and he looked at him, and he said the really hard thing about chickens is that it's hard to really diagnose them while they're alive. So it's kind of like you do you have a dead chicken, you do an autopsy on it, you figure out what killed it. We have 18 other chickens at home, and so he treated him for a bacterial infection, and he treated him for worms, because you know there's a possibility he could have gape worms. Again, you can't really tell that, or according to him, I don't know, I'm not an expert, but it's hard to tell without you know, the chicken while the chicken's alive, and we don't want him to die. So anyways, he treated him for that, and I'm now up here at the farmer's market. See it back there? I'm now up here at the farmer's market, and I'm gonna get him out of the truck and keep him in the cage, but take him over there. I don't want to leave him, even though it's a cool day and all of that, I don't want to leave him over here in there. So Anyway, there's that. Yeah. Hi. Hey, from the farmer's market. So there's King hanging out with us at the farmer's market. I didn't want to leave him in the car. He looks like he's feeling better. He's not wheezing as much. Hey, buddy. Hey everyone. So it's been, I guess, 3 days since we took King to the vet. He has been quarantined, but the wheezing has stopped, and he has started crowing again, and he's on the mend. So we have just a few more days that we have to keep him separated from the flock, and then he'll be able to go back out with his girls. But check him out. He's even started crowing again. So he's not mouth breathing anymore. He's doing really well. We're so happy. Do you hear these pigs? Like, anytime Randy starts walking out there, they lose their mind. Y'all act like you ain't been fed, ever. What are you doing? What are you doing, piggy? What are you doing? Y'all act like you ain't never been fed before. Y'all act like you ain't never had food. And then they get in this thing and lay, so the other ones can't get it because, you know, they're just so jealous of each other. We went and bought some 5-gallon buckets, and we're going to start soaking their food. See if we can make that feed stretch a little bit longer while we're looking for some places to get scraps from. These guys get into everything. I'm still liking having them around, but they like to get up here in my raised bed and lay. They haven't really been eating the tomatoes, but they like to lay in the raised bed. I guess to get the shade or something, even though their coop is in the shade. Yeah, they like to run around and play, and they crack me up. But Cooper doesn't bother them. I mean, they just kind of like hang out and look at him. He's just like, what's up? Randy's putting some extra posts in the fence. Is that a turtle? Yeah, because Troy loves them. That way he can see it.
Well, he kind of closed himself up.
Oh, so we got a little box turtle that I guess has been chilling in the yard, but he's closed himself up.
I'm going to put him out there in the field because that's where he was headed.
Do you know that box turtles, when they have orange eyes, those are males? We learned that on our trip to Savannah. But I don't know what color his eyes are because he's got his eyes closed. So Randy's going to put him out in the field so he can go trekking on. You notice we're down to 5 turkeys. I don't know if I said this in another video or not, but we lost another one. That was a week and a half ago, something like that. But these guys that are left seem to be doing pretty well. From everything that I've researched, turkeys are just, when they're small, they're kind of fragile. But as they get older, they become pretty hardy birds. So I know at least one of them's a tom because sometimes he'll puff out his feathers and make his tail feathers stand up like a tom turkey does. But we're thinking 2 of them might be toms. We're not sure. I guess we'll figure it out as they get older. Look at this. This is what they do. They get in there in my raised bed. Get out of my raised bed. Get out. Get out. Get out. Go. Go. Go find someplace else to lay. So one of the things about homesteading, about this whole life, it is like every day is a lesson. Every day you're learning something, whether you're learning how to do compost or you're learning how to take care of chickens or turkeys or pigs or manage the land, how to plant things. It's just every day. It's a learning thing. And that's fine because, you know, my background is in education. So, I'm sorry, I've gotten into poison ivy and it's about to make me crazy. But that's fine. You know, I'm all about, you know, learning new things. But I really feel like when it came to this episode that we had with King, I wish that I had researched some things better. So, first of all, I want to start by saying that it was kind of odd, I guess, to take a chicken to the vet when you think you paid like, you know, what, $5 for the chicken or whatever. And most of the time you raise chickens to slaughter them anyway, to eat them. But King was part of our original flock. And he's with our laying hens, and he protects our laying hens. And we've grown pretty attached to him. So, yeah, I don't regret taking him to the vet or anything like that. It wasn't, you know, just like a huge expense. But I guess it does seem kind of odd to take a chicken to the vet. I don't know. I don't know if people do that. Our vet actually said that with backyard chickens becoming a more popular thing, that he is seeing more chickens. So, but some of the things that I learned from this experience that, you know, maybe would help other people. We introduced, let me think. I can't remember when we got them. Maybe mid to late June, we got our 7 turkeys, and we we purchased them from somebody that is like the next town over. They said that they needed to get rid of their flock because they were having predator problems and couldn't keep the predators out. And that's probably true. I'm not saying that it's not true, but we have lost 2 of those turkeys. The rest of them seem fairly healthy. They seem to, not be having any problems, but we're not 100% sure why we lost those turkeys. And then also we got more chicks from a friend of mine that actually, she hatched them out. It's starting to rain. She hatched them, her chickens hatched them out. And so when I took King to the vet, he asked me where I got him, and I told him that he was almost a year old, and we purchased him and 9 hens from Rural King. And but I told him that we had the other. They're not little bitty chicks, but they're chick size, and they're not in with our flock. They're separated from them. But we got them, and I told him that we got him from a friend, and that's doesn't live far from us. And he said the problem with that is that chickens that you get from like Rural King or TSC or something like that, they come from a hatchery and they've been vaccinated. And he said that getting chickens from our friend, they've not been vaccinated, which either way, whatever you think about that, it's whatever, it's fine. However, introducing these birds onto our homestead has potentially put our original laying flock at risk. And I didn't think that through. Me or Randy, neither one really thought that through. There's a lot that goes into this. Now, I'm not saying that I regret getting them. I don't regret getting them. I just feel like I should have done more research. There's a lot of things that happen on a homestead, with different animals and different illnesses and things that can affect them, even down to, what they eat. A friend of mine that I work with told me that she had been talking to a guy that had like 6 hogs that he had gotten up to about, I don't know, I can't remember exactly the weight, but I want to say it was like 200 pounds a piece or something like that, 150, 200 pounds. And he was going to take them to the processor to have them butchered, and he had some corn that maybe I'm telling you this story and I can't remember all the details, but he had corn that had soured and was not like good for what I don't know if they had canned it or frozen it or what, but it had soured. And without even thinking, because like we give our pigs scraps all the time and everything, he took them out, gave it to the pigs, and the next day they were all dead. And it's things like that I'm just sitting there thinking, oh my gosh. And there's some of y'all might be sitting out there thinking, well, duh, he shouldn't have done that. But I wouldn't know not to do that. I wouldn't know that a pig couldn't eat that. And when I said something to Randy about it, he said, I did hear somebody say one time that if it's something that you shouldn't eat or you can't eat, you shouldn't feed it to your animals. And it looks like that's just kind of what we're going to go by. I mean, I think it's okay if it's a few days, past its looking good date or whatever. But for the most part, we just got to be careful what we feed them. But even out in the field, there may be something out in the field that we don't know that they're not supposed to have. Like I know that a lot of clover can sometimes make cows sick and stuff like that. So, yeah, just some lessons learned this time. I need to be more observant. And even, I was observant. I didn't get alarmed like I should have gotten alarmed. I didn't, when I see something change, I need to ask myself, why is that changing? Or why is that different? Or why are they behaving different? Or why is King not crowing? And I need to be more diligent about being observant. I need to be researching more and asking questions a little bit better about, when we decide to go bring more animals onto our place. Is it going to do anything to hinder the animals that we already have? And, sometimes we may do all of the research and check all of the things and ask all of the questions, and bad things are still going to happen, or losses are still going to happen. And that's part of homesteading, I think. I mean, it's part of how all of this works. But everything that happens here is a learning experience, and everything that happens, I try to be like, what can I take away from this? What can I do better next time to make this, not happen next time? So yeah, if you're thinking about bringing in more chickens, and real honestly, I think that like if our layers had hatched out the chickens, it would have been fine. I don't know. None of the chicks and none of the hens are exhibiting any of the symptoms that King had. Now, the turkeys, they're not. None of them are acting like they're having any breathing issues or anything. It's thundering. I bet Cooper is in the house losing his mind right now. None of the turkeys are having breathing issues, but we did lose 2 of them. So that makes me a little bit suspicious as to if there was possibly a connection there. The turkeys are not around King. They're not. All of our laying flock is kept in our Premier 1 fencing that where we're making our compost heaps. So none of the turkeys are with him. However, like bacterial type things and even parasites and stuff, they can get moved around from place to place by our shoes and stuff like that. So there's that too. Yeah, this has been a learning experience for sure. But it's part of it, right? Hey, thanks everyone for watching, and God bless.